Guys, it's Slim Jim here. Trust me, I already know how nerdy this is. My wife makes fun of me a lot for playing this game and how I talk a lot during heists. But for me, it's kind of a big deal. I want efficiency over really anything else. So I got Darth Thanos here. He's the strongest guy in our guild. We're gonna go ahead and run it with two people. If as long as he's alright with that, let me just make sure. Medium difficulty heist is still pretty easy to do with just two people. You're going to have one person guarding 5, the other person guarding 4, because a valuable usually gets taken right at the start of the game. So you have to excuse me too, because I don't ever record myself. I really hate my speaking voice when it's on film. So I'm just doing this because I really want to help everyone get better at heist. So we're starting it. Alright. So pretty much right away, once you start out, you cover diamonds. Ones get stolen like always. And there, I covered all 5. He'll cover 4. So typically I try and get kind of in a bunch formation for my guys. And another thing you got to remember is there's times when you need fantastic damage because there's guys that are immune to normal damage. So I have Sully for fantastic damage and Jack. And I believe one of Mr. Incredible's is for fantastic damage. So you see Darth Thanos got the other 4. He left his Stitch open. One thing that I typically do is I keep my extra player, if I have the extra player that's not on a diamond, I keep them kind of centralized so they can roam around. What he's doing is fine because Stitch has full health. So one thing that's very important when you have the extra guy, and if you have more than 2 people, then you have a lot more leniency. One thing I never do is I never look for clues because when you're playing medium, you have to kill the thief 10 times. If you're playing hard, you have unlimited. I don't really play easy, but if with easy, you have 5. So there's no reason to look for clues because really you don't want to find the hideout. The faster you find the hideout and kill it, the less coins you get. And that's the whole point, is you want coins because they have really good players in the heist shop. So he's leaving his Stitch just hanging out, which is good. He has full energy. You can see the black ring is where I'm going to go through the basics too for some people because I know there's a few people in the guild that might not do this very often. So the black ring is where the thief is going to be, and as you can see, you can zoom in and push to an open space, and that's better than not, and then going to a question mark, or just going to a question mark. You see he lost some energy there, but if I click on Stitch, you can see that he's resting. So when you go to an open spot, there's an exclamation point above you. You have to click on your character and switch them to rest mode in order to get that energy back. You can see he's gaining that energy back, so he'll have full or close to full energy for the battle. Another thing he's going to do with his Stitch is, say Mr. Incredible gets in a battle, I'll pull a couple guys off diamonds because I have to, but he'll pull Stitch over just like I'll pull my guys over, and as soon as they get there, I'm going to put them in rest mode so that they can gain some energy before the battle. You get a minute until you start your battle, so use it as well as as much as you can. Nothing drives me crazy like somebody who just spams the fight button because they want to play it, and then they draw people off of diamonds, they draw people from 20 seconds away. It's just crazy. So Mr. Incredible got tagged. You see he's already heading over. I'm going to take Calhoun over. Calhoun's one of my favorites because with Calhoun you have the shield. So I usually run with Calhoun, and depending on what game mode you are, you typically don't need 5 people for medium. You can get away with 4 if they're strong. I usually do 4 or 5, whatever. You see that exclamation point? Now I'm going to Calhoun, switching to rest. Jack. switching to rest. So he's got his players in rest too. So we're looking good. We got 28 seconds to start the battle. We're just going to sit here and let our guys gain energy because you want to get as close as possible and have as much energy as possible. Typically, if you start a battle with full energy, you can use their special attack, and then by the end of the battle, you have full energy again, so you can move around the map easier. So I'm going to go ahead and start it. 8 seconds. And let's see what we can do. So I'll call them. They're all really close. I'll use his special ability. And then we'll use Stitch. And that should hopefully get us closer. See, we're down already to 2. Now just the Thief. Look at that. Mr. Incredible and Stitch both got back to full health. The only person who didn't was Bogo, and he's really close. So that's it. And we get 18 clues. Not that that really matters. But right after the battle now, I'm going to zoom back out, find the diamond that I came off of, and go back to it. And because I finished the fight with full health, I'm able to get there quickly. That's a big deal. If you're taking a minute to get to your diamond, it's never really happened to me, but I'm sure that the thief can move faster and get there beforehand. So you just always kind of look to make sure diamonds are all covered. If you're clicking on a diamond, that's a way to know that somebody's already on it. Sorry, my son is crying. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Alright, let me call a couple people over. My son's really not a good sleeper, so I'm a little behind on this one. But moving guys over, I'll still have about 30 seconds to rest. I know, buddy. Alright. Okay. Set him up to play. Ooh, that was close. Had a couple seconds left. Alright. So as you can see, my guys haven't even gotten touched because I have the Calhoun disc, so they were able to take a bunch of damage. So I'm not even having to pop anything. I use Stitch right at the beginning, everybody's full, and there's no reason for me to do anything else. Everybody has full life. So yeah, you'll have to excuse me. I might have to talk to my son during some of this. But there we go. So there's two defeats, and we're just running with 2 people. Like, this is about as easy as it gets. Really, he doesn't really have to draw his Bogo all the way from the top, but he is, and that's fine because he's able to get back there pretty quickly because he has full health, so it doesn't take him too long. But like I said, we could make it work with just 4 people. Typically, when you have 3 or more people, you want to get 5 people that aren't on diamonds, so you want to stay on diamonds, and then anybody who is free will go to the battle. But it's very important not to draw people off of diamonds if you don't have to. Of course, when you have 2 people like we have, it's a requirement. So we see the thief is down here in the corner. You can see we're not searching for any clues. We're not wasting our energy. Stitch has full energy, so he's able to run around the map wherever he needs to go. So, you know, obviously you want people with a lot of power, but it's better for the weaker people, if you have weaker people that are playing, to cover diamonds while the stronger people move around. You get coins from the heist based on how many fights you're in, and so that's kind of a drawback for some of the weaker guys. If they're on diamonds, they might not be in as many battles, but they will still be in some because the thief comes and finds you on the diamond sometimes. So it's very important to kind of balance out where your people are going. You don't want to have too many weak people running around into battles, especially on hard mode, because then you're just going to keep losing, and when you lose, people get knocked out, and when people get knocked out, that puts them out for like over a minute. So as you can see, really there's not much of a point of me running this whole thing, because we have this under control. He's pulling down Bogo again. But yeah, this is super easy. Trying to think of anything else, any other tips. Okay. So as you can imagine, we have it pretty much under control with 2 people. Once you add a 4th and a 5th person in, it's just like about as easy as it gets. Darth usually lets me take the battles because I'm so crazy about how we do things. So let's see, I'll use Stitch again and use Tia. Nah, I don't even need to. I'm just gonna hold it off, and we're about to get the thief. There we go. Super easy. Jack's the only one that didn't get full health, but he's still close. So at this point, I think it's going to get pretty repetitive, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. As you can see, now that we beat the thief 3 times, it's zeroing in on the hideout, so that white circle means that the hideout is in this area, so that means any of those question marks outside of there aren't going to be the hideout, but since we're not looking for the hideout, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's it. Just the black circle is where the thief is in the area, so you kind of expect for him to pop up somewhere in there. Don't do the question marks, because it locks you in for 20 seconds. If you're searching for clues and a battle happens, you have to wait till those 20 seconds are over, so you get to the battle later, and you have less time to rest before the battle. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. That's the basics on how to do this. And like I said, this is literally my first YouTube video, so don't be too hard on me about saying or oops, got out of that on accident, for saying or not being super great to listen to. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me. You can type in the comments below, message me on Disney Heroes, and if you're not in my guild somehow and you're watching this, you should definitely look into joining Cool Kids. We're a pretty good guild. We're typically top 15. Sometimes we break into around 11 or 10th place. We're looking for active people to join, and obviously people that know how to heist. Alright, take it easy.